welcome to today's morning report. Charts Appraisal on Monday the 4th of December with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got a very strong dollar today. We had tax reform that was finally passed by the Senate on early morning Saturday, and subsequently we've seen the dollar opening very strongly today, outperforming across the major pairs. Strong gains against the yen. The improvement in risk appetite certainly showing through on that pair, but also the improvement in risk appetite showing through on the relative outperformance, I suppose, dollar aside, of the commodity currencies, the Aussie and the Kiwi, doing well. And what we've seen is the dollar rebounding, and looks like it's testing that that downtrend on trade-weighted dollar, and that's coming as Treasury yields have pushed higher. And the 10 years around 2.4% again. So certainly tax reform progress in the Senate is benefiting the dollar, benefiting risk appetite today. And you can see that across the equity markets as well, whereby we're seeing a big jump in early moves on equities. You had a lot of flying around on Wall Street on Friday. Michael Flynn pleading guilty to the accusations of his contact with Russia over the election, and certainly that has initially spiked equities to the downside, big flight into safety, but then that unwound quickly, and then we're expected to see futures or Wall Street opening sharply higher again as this tax reform aspect is sort of priced in as well. So lots of wild swings on these markets, and certainly equities are gaining on the back of the tax reform deal today, or passing of the bill through the Senate today. So yeah, that's basically what we're looking out for today. In terms of much beyond that, you've got a little bit of data this afternoon, factory orders. Let me see. Factory orders this afternoon is negative 0.4%, but generally speaking, the market is risk on mode due to the tax reform aspect there. Now, my chart today is silver. Silver's been underperforming gold recently, and dropping sharply actually, and it's now testing that or seemingly breaking down below that 1630 support of the October low. Now that would sort of complete a bit of a consolidation, you could argue, but certainly that would be a significant move in the fact that it was be the end of this recovery in silver since that July low from 1486. That certainly is a rolling over. You can see these momentum indicators taking on a more corrective outlook. The MACD lines especially gaining a bit of traction to the downside. Stochastics negatively configured RSI, sort of low 30s. So a close below 1630 would really, I think, open up the downside. 1610 initially being that August low, but generally 16 figure, between 16 figure and 1610, I think is a fairly reasonable level. Then you're sort of looking at the 1550 area. So it certainly looks like there's some beginnings of some downside, and again a little bit of chop around on Friday with that Michael Flynn news, but certainly the market seems to be sort of gaining traction once again to the downside. You see the hourly chart whereby the momentum indicators failing around 50 to 60 on the RSI, underneath neutral, crossing over on the MACD lines on the hourly. So yeah, this looks to be sort of any sort of rally seems to be a chance to sell. So it looks like you've got some resistance overhead now, 1655 area, 1660 to 1655, bit of resistance overhead, but yeah, any rebounds or any rallies are a chance to sell, I think, and certainly a close below 1630 does open up that downside. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.